most of all, to me, she expressed that in the writing, the language of the cookbook. And I feel that language and voice is extremely important. After that, I thought, well, if Julia does this for French cooking, I want to find people who bring a regional Italian cooking to us, and more exotic cuisines like Middle Eastern and Indian. And so I searched out people to do such a book, not all the same, but because each voice is different, each experience is different. But I started really a whole series of books. I don't think of them as a series, but that contributed in that way and really taught you. And the truth is that the more exotic the cuisine, the more you need that kind of help. You need to know what to expect, because you're flying blind. You may never have even tasted that dish you're making. So you need Irene Quab there telling you how you make a velvety surface to your chicken, or using language that immediately conjures up what you're after. And an interesting thing is this led me more and more to the realization of how much taste is memory, and memory is taste. And very often, people I found to do these books had to leave their own country. Claudia Roden, for instance, the wonderful Middle Eastern writer, grew up in Cairo in a huge, extended Jewish family, and she has wonderful descriptions. I'll read you a little paragraph. But when she had to leave, when they were forced out of Egypt, she lost all her roots and her way of reconnecting. She was a student in Paris, so she had this idea of just collecting her family's recipes, and she wrote to her families all over Europe and got these recipes and tried and tested them. And so her books, I think, are always shot through with that wonderful sense of nostalgia for the past and a sort of pride in heritage and wanting to recreate and share them with you and me. I'll just give you a little sample that I loved in her writing. Each dish has filled our house in turn with the smells of the muskie, the Cairo market, of the cornice in Alexandria, of Groby's, and of the famous Hati restaurant. Each dish has brought back memories of great and small occasions, of festivals, of the emotions of those times, and of the sayings invariably said. They have conjured up memories of street vendors, bakeries, and pastry shops, and of the brilliant colors and sounds of the markets. Pickles and cheeses have recreated for us the atmosphere of the grocery shop around the corner, down to which constant flow of baskets would be lowered from the windows above, descending with coins and going up again with food. It is these smells, emotions, habits, and traditions attached to and inseparable from our dishes, a small part of our distinctive cultures, that I have tried to convey with food. Some of the other people that I feel, certainly, I'm sure you've all read, but Madhur Jaffrey, for instance, has again that voice, and she did recently a lovely little food memoir called Climbing the Mango Trees. And again, she lived in this huge extended family, sometimes 40 sitting down to dinner with Grandpa at the table. And she maybe snuck around in the kitchen, but she never really touched the food. I mean, was out there cooking it. But still, it was a very important factor in her memories of India. And then when she went off to England to work in the theater, again, she couldn't find, of course, in London today, you find lots of Indian restaurants, but not then. And anyway, she was a poor student, so she wrote to her mother and got all these recipes. And because they were mostly women, because they had never really learned to cook at their mother's need, they were like you and me because they were learning later in life, and they had to know all the details and be able to transmit them to us. So it's often in the detail that the huge difference lies between indifferent cooking and Spaniard cooking.